Sure. I mean, it is a very sad day. I mean, as you said, I think he will keep a lot of control, and this is a regulatory kind of angle here in terms of stepping aside as CEO. Is it a direct competitor with Google? Google is trying to move more into commerce, but as we can see, and obviously AWS and GCP are direct competitors. But I think the market is so big in both areas for both of them that we're not going to see either knocking up against each other for quite a long time yet.
George, I just mentioned the terrific after-hours response we've seen in Alphabet stock. Investors like what they saw, a beat on many different lines from earnings to revenue, to the cloud, to YouTube ads. There are lots of bright spots in there, YouTube in particular, showing that the might around advertising. Was this just a feature of the pandemic that we saw this company win on the back of some of those trends, or was there something more in the earnings that encouraged investors, do you think?
I think the pandemic has obviously accelerated a lot of effectively what is a digital transition. But what we're seeing with Amazon, with Google, is these advances aren't being given back, be it a consumer, be it an advertiser or a business using cloud. Once you've adopted that service, it's such a great, unique service that you never go back to how everything was done previously. So what we're now seeing is a compounding on the pull forward that we saw as a result of COVID.
Yeah, let's just talk about that then. So what do you think is left in the tank here for these particular stocks to rise through the rest of this year, George? Because we're very focused on valuation at the moment and the various signs we're seeing of a potential top around technology at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely don't think that applies to Google itself. I mean, when we look at these results, it's fantastic revenue growth, margins expanding, cash flows expanding, and as I said, revenues accelerating across the board. And you look at the TAM here and across their individual business lines, they're massive. Whilst Google itself is a big company, they still have decades of growth left, both in the cloud business and in the advertising business, which we see still has about a 1.7 trillion TAM. So when you think about the revenues today, we've got a long way to go, and the share prices aren't that expensive. I mean, with the way you think about it, on ex-cash PE, Google's trading on about 18 times 2022 earnings, or a 4.5% EV free cash flow yield, which for a business that's growing at the rate it is pretty cheap.